They know you. That's me singing F105. Hope everyone's having fun. Hope everyone's ready for some lunchtime trivia. And I'm hoping nobody is eating Lysol for lunch. Because that's something I learned today, is that Lysol apparently is a new Tide Pod.
Oh, man. I'm sorry to our American viewers, but what is going on with your president? Seriously. I heard it on the news this morning. I was like, what? Oh, my God. Did you hear about this, Andrew?
I did, and I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm waiting for somebody to just walk out on the stage and tell us we've been living in a reality show for the past 4 years.
It's the Truman Show, the Trump Show. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but like I was flabbergasted this morning when I heard that. I was like, what?
I saw that notification on Twitter saying Lysol and whatever the other company is saying don't eat. And I was like, what?
Oh yeah.
Like, is this for, like, people are eating it?
Yeah.
I mean, I've had it for a snack before, but as a whole meal, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of a complete breakfast. You get it.
Have a little Tide Pod for dessert, you're good to go. Your body is clean.
It literally says on those bottles, like, do not consume.
And then doesn't it give you, like, poison control if you do? Call this number.
In my head, I was like, but it's poison. I'm like, well, it's not poison, but it's chemicals that you shouldn't imbibe.
Yeah, man.
Dear Lord.
I just... wow. I wonder, though, if, like, there's so many more viewers for his press conferences, because they were like, we have to keep tabs on what he says because people are listening to what he says. Like, it's really shown me, like, the power of the presidency is it's huge. Like, you listen to your leader, and I respect that from Americans, but, like, man.
Well, I mean, it's weird, but it is good when you listen to the person that you've anointed your leader. You should, but also you shouldn't eat poison.
No.
There's something about UV rays, too, that didn't make any sense, but it's just like...
I saw Andy Higgins, our good friend Andy Higgins, wrote on Facebook something about how is it the bullets from Underworld? Is that what they're talking about or something?
Yeah. At least the writers of South Park have enough material for like the next few years.
Oh, God.
Yeah, how does that show stay on? Watch the news.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Clone Wars yet? Brock, I know you haven't. Fantasia?
No.
Yeah, I watched it about an hour ago. Good stuff. Very good stuff. And just the fact that it's taking place during Revenge of the Sith just keeps delighting me. I love that.
All right, cool.
Does Anakin and Obi-Wan make an appearance, or are we done with them?
One of them does.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and I don't think we're done with either of them.
That was my worry, that they would kind of just... They're gone now because they're doing this.
Right.
So I gotta say this, and you guys have both seen the Tartakovsky Clone Wars, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's some of my favorite Star Wars. The second season of that, especially, and the way it ties into Revenge of the Sith is, for me, some of my favorite stuff to tie in. Especially, I have not seen the last 2 episodes of the Clone Wars. Don't at me. I'm going to. I think actually once we're done recording, I'm going to watch last week's once we're done. Because I've got time. I've got time now. I finished The Lighthouse, so I've got time. How would you guys compare it to that though? Like, will I be as satisfied?
To The Lighthouse?
Yes. Is it black and white and shot 1:19?
Well, it could be black and white if you turn off the saturation on your television.
True. Very true.
I mean, I got excited when
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if you listened back to that when we did it on Monday in the live stream, where I was like, why are you sleeping? Do not sleep on this.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch the second one. I hope it holds up with it, because it's just like, it truly is like, it's worth it. I feel like it almost makes me more excited for. I hope by the end of these 4 episodes that it's like, you have to watch this before you ever watch Revenge of the Sith again. Like, it should be the companion with it. Okay. I hope it is.
Okay, Fantasia. Okay, and I'm not like saying which is better. I'm just
Mm,
saying
no.
the way that I'm satisfied, the way that it's not canon anymore, so it doesn't even really matter, but it still does to me. The way that ties in, will I be as satisfied with these last two, with the way they're tying it in with this series of Clone Wars?
Right.
I'll never be satisfied. Sorry, I was thinking about Hamilton.
I still haven't seen that either. Or
Sorry,
heard any
Andrew,
songs.
you haven't answered yet. Go ahead, Andrew.
It's been a hot minute for me since I saw those 2D ones. But from what I remember, did they show you Grievous actually kidnapping Palpatine? Is that a thing?
Yeah,
in that
at the end of it, he gets kidnapped by Palpatine, and then he runs on the ship, and then Mace Windu runs up and Force chokes him, and that's how he gets his cough.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So that's not touched on in these. So technically, if you wanted to, you could still consider that canon and watch that.
See,
and then go into these.
See, same with Anakin Skywalker. They've done things on this version of the Clone Wars that they, where they acknowledge the other Clone Wars, like Anakin's scar and things like that, where you see it happen in one, but the other acknowledges that it's there. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I kind of like that because like I said, I love the old Clone Wars ones, and I'm obviously not, if it's not canon, it doesn't bother me, but I still like the idea that it can connect.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even when we start this series, the 3D series, like everybody already knows who Asajj Ventress is.
Yes.
And in the 2D one, they had to introduce her and be like, "Who's this weird lady?"
Such a good scene, though.
It was cool. The way they're doing this arc, what I like about it so far is I feel like I could watch the first episode, then watch like a chunk of Revenge of the Sith, pause it, watch this new episode, watch more of Revenge, etc., etc. That's how this is feeling.
I need to call Topher Grace and get him to do a giant edit on this.
Oh yeah,
yes.
We should.
I think the major problem, or not a problem, it's hard to compare those two because it's like this is so Ahsoka centric that like they're different stories. You know what I mean? Like I think like because how do you say it? Gerdovsky?
I think it's Tartakovsky or something.
Tartakovsky?
Yeah, well, Rural Farmer will correct us as soon as he hears.
Isn't that the executive from NBC in the 90s? He was on an episode Saved by the Bell. Brandon Tartakovsky. But like that is a story about like all of them almost, but like it's definitely a story about Anakin, and like this season doesn't really have Anakin in it, so it's like it's kind of hard to compare the two, I guess.
Yeah, this is absolutely like more of an Ahsoka story. It's kind of like what Lost Stars was to A New Hope. This is to Revenge of the Sith.
Okay, that's cool.
Is Lost Stars? When did that book actually come out?
2015. Force Friday.
Like it's not prior to the Disney purchase. It's
after. It came out the same day as Aftermath.
Yeah.
As part
Isn't
of
that wild though? Yeah. It's like we complain, like so many people complain about stuff, but there is stuff that is very, very good in this Disney regime. Like it's like, have you read Lost Stars? It's like,
I would, to borrow your phrase, I would argue that per capita, they're probably hitting the same amount on the head as the old regime did in terms of quality. Because they're churning out material. You're not going to like everything. I think, to be fair, though, I think a lot of the earlier comics were very weak. It felt like they were just throwing them out there to throw them out there.
Yeah.
And I think the High Republic, I think, is going to change everything. I think.
I agree. I think like this. There's enough here to talk about for like a whole episode of a show. But basically, I feel like the old Legends was putting out the same amount of good compared to bad. They were just putting out more stuff overall. Like they flooded the market. Whereas now they're being wary. They're like, let's put out 3 books a year.
Yeah.
2 of them will still be meh, and 1 will be good. Yeah. But at least it's only 3 books a year. You guys mentioned in one of the last Rebel Scum episodes that the Shadowfall, the Alphabet Squadron 2 is coming out. That's like my favorite new canon book. That first Alphabet Squadron.
I've heard good things. I actually have the Audible.
Yeah, it just came out of nowhere.
Well, it's a trilogy, right?
That up, son.
Yeah,
apparently.
I don't know how I got that Audible, but I have it, and I accidentally asked Alexa to play something, and she started playing that. I go, when did I get this? So I might actually listen. I don't like audiobooks. We've made that very clear.
Yeah.
But because I have it, I might give it a go. I couldn't get through the audiobook for Master and Apprentice though. I like to read at my own pace, I think. Anyway, Brock.
Yeah.
The pronunciation is, oh no, did I lose it? Rural. Tartakovsky. I can't say it either. And Rob got me, I had the first disc from when it came out, but I never got the second. And Rob got it for Christmas, and I've probably watched it like 17 times since he came with me. I just love it. I do wish it was digital, so I wouldn't have to be at a TV with a Blu-ray player or a DVD player. But I just love it. And the thing too is they're 2 minutes long, you know. And the second disc though is like just one. It just keeps going and going and going and.
Yeah, I think they have it on YouTube. I've watched it on YouTube.
Yeah, they were made for. They were ahead of their time. Apparently, I saw an interview with Tartakovsky where he said, "Luke, the reason why they're not canon or considered canon was because it was an experiment by Lucas to see if Star Wars could go beyond movie theaters, if people would be invested on television for it in animated form, and they were." And so then they hired Filoni. They poached him from your favorite show, the Avatars.
Avatar,
and, and then the rest is obviously history. So
that's wild.
But that's why it's not canon, because it was never really meant to be anything more than just what it was.
I saw action figures for that show in a Toys R Us years ago, and I regret not buying them because it's like I've never seen them again. Like never.
Yeah, that's got to be worth a pretty penny now.
It was wild.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's so funny though, because like that show is so artsy when you think about it.
Oh yeah.
It's not. I don't know if kids would like it, but like Samurai Jack, so it's like maybe they did. I don't know.
I want a toy of that Jedi who looks like Shaggy.
Which his name is it his name like Shaggy T or something?
Oh God, I hope so.
Hold on. Well,
no, that's Shock T.
His name is Soul Patch McGee.
His name is Shaggy.
No way.
Yeah, SHA''A, and his last name is GI. Shaggy. Or Shaggy.
Well done, Tartakovsky.
Yeah.
Well done.
Oh yeah, he was an homage. I know he was an homage, and I'll see if I can. See if I can save this picture for everybody to view. What were you saying, Brock?
I was gonna say I would like to revisit that show again and see if you can throw that all together with the last season of Clone Wars and have that
that'd be curious.
I think,
as far as I can tell, again, it's been so long since I watched it, but I don't think anything in it is contradicted in the Filoni show.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm sure there's a few little things that are inconsequential to whatever. I put the picture up, so the delay will take over for some time. But I hope not, because I like watching it, and so I also read that the Mace Windu crushing Grievous was like a last minute addition because they decided to make Grievous have a cough and he didn't have one in the show. So he was like, well, I guess we'll show that. And that's how they came across. But the thing is it's so simple, but when you watch it, it makes sense. Because he's crushing. I can't remember though.
Does Anakin and Grievous ever meet in that show?
No.
Okay.
It's literally at the very end. It's actually, oh my God, that Hammerhead Jedi is the best. And he does that squeal and just takes everyone out. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's like a boat horn almost, isn't it? He blows air out.
Yeah. It's every sound from the lighthouse is what comes out of his.
There's that other guy. There's that bounty hunter guy, Dirge, and he was kind of like Venom. Like his body would be like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They had fun. See, this is the one thing that I think Star Wars needs to focus on for Disney Plus. Is just have fun. Just enjoy it, man. Mm-hmm. Just do whatever. Have fun. Enjoy the ride. Tell your story.
I mean, I would argue that's definitely what's happening on The Mandalorian.
Yes. Oh my God, that trailer of the roundtable discussion.
That looks great.
But I hope they stick with that. I hope it's just like, oh, you're passionate about Star Wars. Oh, well, Brock, we did the episode yesterday. Then right after I went on Twitter and I saw that video of
Leslie
Headland. Yeah. at the premiere, and she's gushing over Star Wars, and I was like, that just sounds genuine. And I mean, that made me even more glad that she's going to be involved, because the one thing for me, I don't know how you guys are, but the one thing with Favreau being involved with it is his passion for it and just loving what he's doing.
Yeah.
And not doing it because he's contractually obligated to do it or this or that, doing it because he's passionate about the material.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you just can't. I feel like there's going to be I don't know Brock on that, but like, I feel like you can't be a Star Wars fan and not be passionate about it. You know what I mean? Like, it always seems the guys that get involved, like the Filonis, the Favreaus, even JJ and Ryan, they're all just like psyched about working on Star Wars. Because I think the original Star Wars is just, you were just so jazzed as a kid to watch it. If you liked it, I'm sure there's kids that did not like Star Wars, but you know what I mean? Like, you didn't go all the way, you know, or am I wrong?
No, I see exactly what you mean. Yeah. With JJ in particular, I feel like JJ gave off the vibe of somebody who was constantly trying to play it cool, even though he was doing jumping jacks on the inside.
Yeah.
You know, because his family's old Hollywood, so he's all like trying to be a professional and talking about the numbers, and he's sitting there like, yes, well, it's a great product, and meanwhile inside you can see him like screaming and throwing stuff at the walls and be like, oh my god, I got to do a movie with Wookiees in it. Like there's definitely love there from all the new creators we've seen in the Disney regime. They've just all sort of expressed that love different ways, which is kind of neat. Do I have a favorite way of them doing that? I don't know. I think I want to see love across the board. We haven't seen a lot of consistent love for prequels, especially in JJ's corner, and it shows in the work. So I think a more overall love of the saga is going to be good. I can't wait till kids who were kids during the prequels are of the age to be filmmakers, so we can see that love shine through more. Maybe we have to wait a couple of years till we get to that point.
I don't know. It's like, yeah. Go ahead, James.
I was just gonna say, I think when you talk about the Mandalorian, the difference between Rian Johnson, J.J. Abrams, and I won't say Favreau, I'll say the Mandalorian, and it might be because of Disney Plus versus theatrical, and it's that it feels like there is less interference in what they're doing. It's almost like this motley crew of, we're gonna go do this, and they all like this group of kids when they made their own science project, whereas like the teacher's pet kids were all there, and the teacher's like, well, you're going to want to do this, you know what I mean? Like, and then the ones that went off and did their own little thing were all super excited about, not that we weren't excited about the other stuff, but it just feels like there's a little bit more freedom in the Favreau side of it, which again, it's probably because of Disney Plus.
I mean, there's definitely seems to be like a return to the way Lucas filmed the first movies, because like he was like cutting edge, thinking up ways to make this more dramatic, or like just like the work that Lucas put into the effects, right? So like you're seeing Favreau with this like, it's a video wall, and you're like, whoa! I think after we watch,
that's my favorite thing ever.
Documentaries, you're like, oh wow, like he is. I like a video wall is not new, but like using it the way he did is revolutionary. I think. I don't know. I don't know anything about that besides that it was on The Mandalorian, so I'm very excited to learn about that. It reminds me of like George Lucas using models to create the space battles in this. And it looks good still. You know what I mean?
I remember. So James Cameron came out and he kind of poo-pooed on The Force Awakens, if you remember, because it didn't move anything forward. And you can argue whatever you want, but I think you made a valid point in that typically Star Wars pushed technology forward. You could also argue, is that the point of it? Fair. However, this stuff that we're talking about with The Mandalorian is super cool and super innovative and definitely the future of filmmaking, I think. But they did something similar with green screen on The Last Jedi that I think is not discussed enough, and I don't know how often they've done it, but it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. If you look at the Snoke throne room sequence, it's just like a green screen stage, and Rian Johnson walks in with an iPad or a tablet or whatever, and the set is in front of him on the screen. and he could show the actors like this is the green screen, this is what you're going to be. So he watches the scene, he watches it essentially with the backdrop he's going to have, which feels like a precursor to what they're using on The Mandalorian. In fact, when I first heard what they were doing on The Mandalorian, that's what I thought it was. But it was, I thought that technology was super cool. I have never seen it used before Last Jedi. It probably was for something, I don't know. And I don't think they used it on Force Awakens, but I just think that stuff like that is super cool. And that might be the precursor for these LED screens, which is so crazy that it's LED screens.
Like, I think you're right, though. Like, that's pretty revolutionary, but I think people aren't noticing that because it's the consumer technology and the pro technology are like have like sort of try to catch up with it. So like looking at something on a tablet is just so like every day. Oh, that's very cool, blah. But you throw it away. It's not as amazing as what like making like a massive slug creature puppet work and look real. You know what I mean? Like So it's like I think that's I would argue like. I'm not arguing because I think you would agree too. Because it's like the stuff in the new movies is like wow. Like I think I said after Rise of Skywalker was like seeing the Falcon move around in CG and the way it does that, like that looks awesome. And then like putting Peter Cushing into Rogue One, I think that's pretty impressive as well.
Yeah, I will defend Tarkin in Rogue One. I know a lot of people don't like it, but damn, was that ever impressive.
And sorry, Andrew, to your point about people not liking it, when you throw an average Joe in front of that movie, and I don't know how it holds up today, because whatever, but if you put an average Joe, and I know this from people that I went with, if they don't know who Peter Cushing is, a lot of them didn't catch on the fact that was animated, essentially, until you tell them. Then their eyes open up. Then you look at it subjectively. So I agree with you. I think the Tarkin thing, I think even Leia at the end, even though not as strong as, but that might be Carrie Fisher's face because they used her actual face in Rise of Skywalker and everybody thought it was CG. So she might just have a very fake looking face for all we know. But I'm with you guys. I was fine if they wanted to do that for Leia for all of Skywalker. I was actually like going to be okay with that because of how well Tarkin was done in Rogue One.
Mm-hmm. And I could, if something else happens in the future where there's another movie where they do the same thing with another character where it's like, we don't have this actor anymore, but we're going to pull a Tarkin here. I am 100% on board because
they're absolutely going to do that. Cause like, wasn't it prior to Last Jedi that they were scanning everybody that was in the film? Like, it's for video games. They're like, sure it is.
But they should do. Why not? You have the technology. Use it. These are Saturday, Sunday matinee serials that you're making. Essentially, just have fun with them. Like
love it or hate it. Like Samuel L. Jackson looks like young Samuel L. Jackson in Captain Marvel.
Yeah, they actually did. They did a better. Good. And because he moves like a normal person and not Robert De Niro.
I was just gonna say that.
I bought Samuel Jackson in Captain Marvel. Like never once did my brain take away. Whereas the Irishman, there was a lot of many opportunities where I was like, "Wait, what is something is off here?"
Old man do this.
I know, just maybe. But Samuel Jackson, but also like what they're de-aging him like 10 years, not 40, right? So
yeah.
But they could do that no problem. I'm curious, what do you guys think about Obi-Wan Kenobi? Are they going to age Ewan McGregor at all, or just leave him Ewan McGregor? Maybe not with CG, but give him more wrinkles.
I guess like the question is, where will that story start? Will it start right after?
It may never start.
Yeah, that's true. But I'd be cool. I'd be down to like have like Ewan McGregor try to get as close to looking as Alec Guinness at some point in that series. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I think a nice middle ground is what I want to see. Like
which
he is. Put a New Hope and Revenge on either side, and just have this Obi-Wan right in the middle. Obi-Wan's age has always been weird for me because in A New Hope, if you do the math, he's only supposed to be like in his early to mid 50s, and it's like, oh, wow, that Tatooine son must be strong.
There was definitely a mistake made in the prequels.
Yeah, exactly. So just find a nice middle ground, and I think everybody will be happy. He's already got the character down, and
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to be sitting there and being like, this isn't how Alec Guinness should be. Like, no, nobody's going to care. Just the fact that we're seeing an Obi-Wan in that stage of his life, hopefully doing more exciting things than we've seen him do in the comics, because those are not my favorite stories. I think we'll be okay.
I think it'll just be Ewan McGregor, to be honest, because he's kind of in that middle age now.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so just leave him be. And again, like you just said, Andrew, the continuity of Obi-Wan's aging makes no sense. So if you just ignore it and let it be, I think it's easier to swallow.
Yeah.
Or you have some massive like battle in the last episode where it's like Dracula, where like you come out with gray hair age, which might not be terrible.
He gets force lightning in the face like Palpatine.
Yeah.
I've aged 17 years precisely.
Yeah. We've talked about this on other things. What I don't think we've ever talked about with Obi-Wan. Could we have a presence of the rebellion in an Obi-Wan show? I mean, in Rogue One, Bail Organa is like, oh, I'll go call my friends from the Clone Wars. So it's like they're definitely in contact with each other to an extent. Do we see a Bail Organa in there? Can we see the rise of the rebellion in that Obi-Wan show?
I gotta say no. I think he is completely separate, because also in Rogue One, Bail Organa has a friend, Obi-Wan, which is from the prequel movies, and I don't think it's anything in between those, because he sends Leia to send a message to Obi-Wan. Right? No one actually, they don't ever really converse with each other. So I'm going to say no, and I think the show's going to be, I could be wrong, don't get, like I have no idea, but I think it's going to be completely separate of the rebellion. And I think we will see the Empire, but it'll be completely separate of the rebellion.
I agree with that. But I think I only think about it as like, well, he's hiding on a desert planet. How do they figure out how to find?
If you're asking me if I want Jimmy Smits in it, yes. I just don't think so. Andrew, what about you?
Yeah, I'd never say no to Jimmy Smits, but in this case, I would much rather see Owen and Beru and little morsels, just little crumbs of Vader and Jabba the Hutt.
I don't know about Vader. Vader's the one that's going to have to... Jabba, yes, but Vader, you're going to have to... Not you. They're going to have to convince me why and how.
Yeah.
Like Vader's presence, maybe, but Vader himself, I'm not sure if I want Vader connect, and it's not about what I want. So if the story goes that way, fine. But I don't know if, because he's so isolated.
Look at it this way. This is just my opinion, but personally, I think if we're getting a series about this, I think it would be a mistake to have it all be Tatooine the entire time. I think that would get really dull. So I always picture in my head something that starts off there and ends there, but at some point Obi-Wan and his homies have to go somewhere and do something. And at that point, it becomes almost like a Breaking Bad situation where he has the law, in this case the Empire, constantly up his ass, and he's always one step ahead. And it becomes that game of tension of like, Vader knows something is up. He goes to this place, and maybe they don't see each other, maybe they do, but like Obi-Wan's always just trying to stay one step ahead of Vader, and we know that that's not easy to do.
What if it didn't start in Tatooine?
Hey,
because what if? Because think about this: he drops he drops Luke off on Tatooine. If there's any thought that these twins are alive, they're gonna go to Tatooine.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe he goes somewhere else to throw the Empire off his scent. Just like you said, though, he's always one step ahead, and then when he finally eludes the Empire, he winds up on Tatooine, with looking over Luke, and that's his getaway the whole time. It's how do I get back to the boy?
Yeah,
to the chosen one.
Yeah, part of the story has to explain why he wants to stay on Tatooine. Besides the fact that he needs to protect Luke, it's like why Luke over Leia? You know what I mean? I guess Leia is royalty now, so she's safe, but like. Perhaps there's some kind of interesting story. Perhaps he talks to Qui-Gon, or he sees a vision where he has to be there. You know, like maybe that's a fun explanation. That's very simple, but like I kind of like that.
Yeah, and again, there's that moment that's like crucial to this guy's life, to Obi-Wan's life, and we've never seen it. Finding out Anakin's alive and he's in this suit now, like that's a big deal. to not show him finding that out. They don't have to meet, they don't have to fight, but to not show Obi-Wan find that out, like, oh, because he never heard. I don't think he heard the word Vader in the movies, if I'm not mistaken. Like, so to find out there's this random person named Vader running around and just be like, oh yeah, that the Emperor's got some guy doing his dirty work, and then to find out that's Anakin, that's crushing. That's beautiful drama that we've missed out on all these years. To not put that in the show, it's like, why even making the show?
Yeah, it's, you raise a good point, because it's sort of like, what does he know? I mean, he said Obi-Wan talks to Vader like, even though Vader says, I haven't felt his presence in a long time. Like, he's like, the way he says, like, oh, Darth. He talks, like, I love, it is really funny watching A New Hope, and like, oh, they hadn't thought about this yet, right? Like, like you never almost hear anybody call him Darth just by itself. But my problem I feel is happening is, I believe they're only doing 4 episodes, correct?
I don't know. I've heard 4. I've heard 6.
I think it was 6 and it went down to 4 when they started thinking about rewriting it. So it's sort of like, I feel like they have to stay on Tatooine for that short of a period, and assuming like the episodes aren't like 2 hours long or something like that. I mean, maybe they make it work by jumping in time, but he does have to spend like a fair amount of time on Tatooine so he can become old Ben the hermit, right? So it's like, I agree with you. I think it shouldn't just be Tatooine the whole way, but I don't know. I guess the question is it just going to be a standalone miniseries by one season? That's it. I don't know if they announced that.
Yeah, I think 6 episodes is all they're going to do for it, and that's it. No more.
Don't you remember that they like when they were redoing the script? They're like, we're going to do 4 episodes now.
Oh, right. 4. Yeah, but now they have new writers, and nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense anymore.
We've said it before. It's like, yeah, maybe you have to write the right amount so it doesn't feel like pushed to make more content, but like, why aren't you making like full like 22 episode shows? Maybe it's not like that anymore because of like
nothing
shows like
because they make them they cost so much more that it costs so much to do 22. But the thing is, if Mandalorian, they're like, it's gonna be 4 seasons. Well, why aren't you just doing all 4 of them at once? You know what I mean? Like, okay, I mean, you need a break and you gotta think of it, but whatever. Nothing makes sense anymore. There's not enough Star Wars on Disney Plus. New Star Wars. Like, Clone Wars is great, but it's season 7 of it's got a built-in audience. I mean, granted, I guess these last 4 episodes, you don't need to see much, but
I don't think when this is all over that season 7 is going to be considered like the best season. I think it's going to have good episodes, but I don't think it's considered the best.
Here, Disney Desi says at the end of the 6th episode of Obi-Wan, Kira comes in, and that sets up the new series with Crimson Dawn. That is her dream.
Okay, that sounds cool.
I'm down for that. All right, you guys want to do some trivia questions before we wrap it up?
Sure.
Yeah, make them all about Kira, please.
We'll do 2 cards. Who played Kira? I'm joking. How tall was Kira in centimeters?
If a freighter leaves Tatooine at 600 standard hours and arrives, how many rebels can it hold?
Okay, I'm not reading this question. That's done. Okay, not doing that one either.
Oh boy,
we're gonna get to them eventually, just not today. It's Friday.
It's Friday.
Gotta get down on Friday.
Okay, you know what? I'm not enjoying these cards. Oh, here we go. This is a good one. Let's see your Star Wars knowledge. Rural, I'm looking at you. As I say that, the chat has his eyeballs. A card? Trivia. Here we go. What does ATST stand for? What does ATST stand for? What does ATST stand for? I 100% would get this wrong. Here we go. What does ATST stand for? All-terrain scout transport, all-terrain single transport, assault trooper security transport, all-terrain security tank.
Oh, they could have made this a lot harder to mess with us. I'm gonna go with A.
I like
think scout is important.
I like Stan
they
Solo's question. What was Watto's wingspan?
Like full extension.
What was
During mating season, it's a bit wider.
Aaron?
What? It's like Monty Python and the Holy Grail. What is the massive wingspan of a Trandoshan junk dealer? I don't know.
What does ATST stand for? All-terrain scout transport, all-terrain single transport, assault trooper security transport, all-terrain security tank.
What's AT-AT? It's all-terrain, I think, is always...
It's an AT-AT, Brock?
AT-AT. All-terrain armored transport? Is that what it is, Andrew?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I don't know why that brings me such glee to know that.
Actually, it's an all-terrain.
All-terrain.
Aaron is cooking something and it smells delightful upstairs. I don't know what's going on.
She's making a lighthouse themed dinner.
Probably.
You don't like my cooking? You don't like my cooking?
It's her world famous guacamole. Daryl loves her guacamole, and I just like she does it.
Daryl has terrible taste in movies. I stick with that.
He got so mad because he watched Drive the other day.
I made him watch. He wanted a mystery, so I suggested Brick because we just talked about it. I was like, "Oh, Brick! It's on Prime."
Yeah.
He's like, "If we got drunk and fell asleep." I'm like, yeah, just go watch your Fast and the Furious movies and let's call it a day.
He was watching Top Gun last night.
Yeah, that sounds like Daryl.
I want to know how people can watch those movies and not laugh at Vin Diesel.
No, that's why you watch those movies.
But there's so many people who don't.
I guess you're right.
Who are like, yeah.
Remember when we watched Fast 5 in the theaters, James? And I was just like, why is he so sweaty all the time?
So sweaty. And then on his trailers, did the trailer with his squish, whatever you want. Those movies, I will say one thing about those movies is if you go to see them in the theater, they are a lot of fun when you have a beer and like a popcorn with you. And a group of friends laughing at them. If you can't laugh at them, there's no point to those movies. It's also called the Fast Saga now. It's the Fast Saga. By the way, Hobbs and Shaw, terrible movie.
Oh yeah.
Just like, but it's not like terrible like Fast and Furious terrible. It's beyond.
It's too aware of itself.
Yeah. What does ATST stand for?
I read this article about Vin Diesel where, at least as far as the Fast movies are concerned, he has this ego thing where when his character gets in a fight, he tells like the fight coordinators, like, if the character I'm fighting punches me 3 times, I have to punch him at least 4 times.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, really, Vin?
Yeah. That's why him and The Rock don't get along. Like all those fights, it's like it's always like they both win in some way. You know what I mean? Like it's never. Oh man, it's so funny listening to it. It's like
you can have any beer you want, as long as. Anyway, Daryl has terrible taste in movies. I shouldn't say terrible taste. He likes. What does ATST stand for? All-terrain scout transport, all-terrain single transport, assault trooper security transport, all-terrain security tank.
A, baby.
Yeah.
A it is. I recommended the Lighthouse.
To Daryl?
Yeah. I said he'll hate it, though. But he was like,
his favorite movie ever. He's like, guys, the Lighthouse, man.
Okay, but Brock, Daryl says, I want to watch a thriller mystery. And it's got to be something that he doesn't have to pay for because he's cheap. What are you going to pick for him?
I don't know. Thriller mystery. I don't know. Well, he did watch Enemy the other day, which I have never seen. The Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah, he probably did not like it.
No, he loved it actually.
He's so.
And I'm like, dude, you should watch more of Denis Villeneuve. Like, I was like, you should watch Prisoners next.
No,
that's a good one.
He loves Prisoners. Enemy's okay.
Real crime documentaries now, I think.
Yeah, he gets weird. But Brick, I was like, whatever. What did Darth Sidious think was unexpected aggressive move on the part of Queen Amidala? What did Darth Sidious think was an unexpected aggressive move on the part of Queen Amidala? Returning to Naboo from Coruscant, joining forces with the Gungans, leaving Naboo and presenting her case to the Senate, capturing Viceroy Gunray.
I think it's the only time in all 9 movies that Darth Sidious has been thrown for a loop. This wasn't part of my chessboard.
Unless it was.
Oh.
What did Darth Sidious think was an unexpected aggressive move on the part of Queen Amidala? Returning to Naboo from Coruscant, joining forces with the Gungans, leaving Naboo and presenting her case to the Senate, capturing Viceroy Gunray.
I don't know. I'm gonna go with the Gungans because like that was all random that they got involved.
I'm gonna go with A. She takes off. She goes back to Naboo.
We got Pauline saying B. I'm getting into a fight in the chat because I said Canadian corn pops are better than American corn pops. They are. They are. And then Tumet2.
Oh, yeah, I remember you saying that to me once. I've never tried
it is a
one.
brutally honest fact. American corn pops are mush. American corn pops, like they've already been soaking in milk for an hour.
Ew.
Yeah, I said it. And then, and then Michael said American hockey is better than Canadian hockey.
American hockey is mostly Canadian players.
And then I said that I would fight him on a skating rink. We got this. What did Darth Sidious think was an unexpected aggressive move on the part of Queen Amidala, returning to Naboo from Coruscant, joining forces with the Gungans, leaving Naboo and presenting her case to the Senate, capturing Viceroy Gunray. Oh yeah, tonight at 8 p.m. Out There, starring Andrew Fantasia.
Yeah, I gotta share that link.
8 p.m.
In this very room.
It was shot. That's his bedroom. The room that Brock's in is his bedroom. Actually, it's funny. I was watching that, and I was watching Unwavering Distances, and I'm like, "There's a lot of 7-ish."
Oh yeah.
But when we shot Out There, you were only downstairs, were you not?
I had just moved upstairs because I remember when we
were
shooting. I had Daryl help me bring my bed upstairs.
I remember that first day though, like when I met you, Brock. When I met everybody except Daryl and James, because I already known them. It was all there in the living room down in my basement.
I've widened out my camera. So I can't move it anymore without getting.
Hold on, stay there, Brock. Stay there. I want to put you full frame. You're full frame.
This corner is where Everett's bed was. So this is like you'll see a lot of this.
No, his bed was on the other end, on your left side.
Yeah.
Oh, right. That's the door. I didn't think about it. And the best part was I didn't say to yourself, just point to the actual side that exists in your realm. I'm looking at the little image of me. Anyways.
That other corner you pointed out is where I had my asthma attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
The answer's A.
Anyway, tonight 8 p.m. we'll share a link because it's
I refuse to watch.
You worked on that one, Brock.
I was in it.
You are in it. You are in it as well. Aaron's in it. Andrew Fantasia's in it. It's a lot of fun. It's a premiere, so there will be a live chat. If you want to talk, if you want to, Andrew, you can give your what was going through your head when we shot certain things. Nobody wants to know what was going through my head when we shot certain things. Your other left, Brock. That's what the chat is. All right, yeah. The answer is A. Returning to Naboo from Coruscant.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
All right, last question. I said 2 cards, but only 1 card because we talked too long, and I got to go back to work. What feature did? What feature did Sonar Fleet Systems include in the bombers that was not seen in earlier ships? Sonar or Sinar?
I've always read it as Sinar, but I don't know. I've never seen how it's supposed to be pronounced.
What feature did Sonar Fleet Systems include in the bombers that was not seen in earlier ships? Sienar. Sinar?
They make TIE fighters.
Brock has a lot of Star Wars stuff, says Pauline. Oh.
Yeah. It's kind of my thing.
You should see his collection of Sweet Valley High books.
Sweet Valley.
What feature did Sinar Fleet Systems include in the bombers that was not seen in earlier ships? Twin ion engines, solar arrays, cloaking devices, a life support system.
What was the second one?
Solar arrays. We got twin ion charges, solar arrays, cloaking devices, a life support system.
Can't be twin ion because it's talking about the bombers, right? Or is it just referring to TIE fighters in general?
I don't know. That's a weird card.
What did Sinar Fleet Systems include in the bombers that was not seen in earlier ships? That's all I can tell you. Pauline saying A. Rural saying it's Sinar.
Yay.
Sinar. Somewhere Sinar.
I kind of want to say not life support systems because they can't go far distance. So why would they need life support? I guess they still need life support so the pilot doesn't die. But you know what I mean? Like, they're not supposed to be long distance fighters, right?
Yeah, I think I might go with life support.
Really?
From what I remember reading about TIE fighters, everything is all about how they're cheap and expendable. That's all the Empire cared about. But
then life support, I feel like it would be don't have that because the pilots are always wearing helmets, so their breathing system could be in there. I don't know if that's true or not. Interesting. I have no idea.
All right, we have Dale Erdman has no idea. He's not into ships. Lucky that he even knows what AT vehicles are. Rural Farm Boy saying life support, Stan Solo twin ion charges. I really have no idea. Pauline agrees with Dale. And Mr. Rez says ion. Is that it? Yes.
I think I'm going to go ion, but maybe I don't know.
I'm sticking to my life support guns. I don't know. I feel like that's where the money is.
And the final answer for today. We'll save these cards for Monday. There's a lot. We talked. It was a good chat today, actually. And the chat's been on fire, too, today. The answer is always trust Rural Farm Boy life support.
Woo!
Life support, yeah. Life support system. The other ones were get in and die. These ones were get in and you might have a fighting chance.
Because I agree with what you said, Andrew. Like, yeah, they're cheap because you're basically just cannon fodder. But like, life support system doesn't fit with that. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's a weird wording for it. Like it feels like something that should be in every ship just because a human is able to be in it in the first place.
Yeah. That makes sense. Whoa.
Oh. Your chair doesn't have a life support system, though, so be careful.
Are you okay? Is Brock there?
Yeah, I think he's just adjusting.
Okay, I wasn't watching. I don't know what happened. I have to go on the chat to find out what happened. Oh, maybe it happened after off camera. Rural Farm Boy knows Star Wars sometimes. Dale trained his Alexa Dot to say hello there, or General Kenobi when he says hello there. That's awesome. I gotta do that. All right, this has been a lot of fun. We gotta wrap it up. I gotta get to work. 8:00 p.m. Eastern Time. Isolation Destination. You get to watch Andrew Fantasia star in Out There, a story of. Do you remember what it's about? Do you want to tell everybody what it's about?
Out There is a story of a guy named Everett Curtis who is not physically fit, but he is mentally sound and he wants to go to Mars. But here's the thing: if you want to be an astronaut, you need to be both physically and mentally sound. So Is Everett astronaut material? Is he Mars material? That's what you will find out when you watch the movie. What is the journey like of becoming a person who gets to go to Mars?
And I wrote it, and I have to say there are a few monologues that Andrew says that he knocks out of the park, and I'm not gonna say it's his best acting to date, but it's his best acting to date.
No.
Oh well, I mean, look, Thumb War hasn't premiered yet, so we can't.
Exactly, we don't know what's going on in there.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, you are phenomenal in it, and Brock has a cameo, and so does Aaron, and Brock has a monologue as well, right, Brock?
Oh, your mic is muted, Brock. Nope, can't hear you. Let's see. There's a little mutey thing. I don't know what happened with that chair, but it
Muted you. Yeah, he's just muted. It might be muted. It's muted on Google Hangouts. Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
On the Google Hangout. Yeah, I said something along the lines, they love you, they want more. Oh, no, wait, that's not me.
That's Declan. Which Pauline, so two of the actors are from Brampton in the movie. So shout out to Brampton.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, 8 p.m. tonight. We'll send out a link. I hope everybody enjoys it. Hope you have fun. Hope you have a great weekend, a great evening. We'll be back Monday. Oh, next Monday in a week. It's May 4th. And hopefully we'll have some fun stuff for May the 4th. Be with you. But anyway, until Monday, until next time, thank you all for watching. Brock, you were always scum.
Out there, scum.